Imagine you're flying over a desert. The earth below looks dry and cracked, lifeless. But then you see them. Massive shapes, perfect lines, spirals, hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, so huge they could only be seen from the sky. Who made these? Why? And how without the ability to fly? Welcome to the Nazca Lines, one of the greatest mysteries carved into the face of our planet. In this episode, we journey to the windswept plateaus of Peru to uncover how these enormous ground drawings came to be, who made them, and what they might have meant. But be warned, the deeper we go, the more questions we find. A land frozen in time. In the southern part of Peru, just above the Pacific coast, lies a stretch of desert so dry and so still that it has remained virtually unchanged for thousands of years. The Nazca Desert, shielded by the Andes Mountains, receives less than 1 inch of rainfall per year. Because of its climate, anything placed on the ground can stay preserved for centuries. That's part of the secret of the Nazca Lines' survival. Here, over an area of about 500 square kilometers, hundreds of mysterious designs are etched directly into the earth. They are called geoglyphs, images made by removing the dark topsoil and exposing the lighter sand beneath. The Nazca people, desert artists between 200 BCE and 600 CE, the Nazca civilization thrived in this harsh landscape. They were skilled farmers, using underground aqueducts to channel water to their crops. They made beautiful pottery and wove complex textiles. But perhaps their greatest and most mysterious achievement was this: they turned the desert into a giant canvas. They created more than 800 straight lines, some stretching over 10 miles, over 300 geometric figures, trapezoids, triangles, spirals, over 70 pictorial drawings including a monkey, a spider, a whale, a condor, a dog, and a hummingbird. Many of these figures are enormous. The monkey is 360 feet long. The spider is 150 feet wide. The hummingbird is nearly 200 feet from beak to tail. But here's the strange part. These drawings can only be fully seen from the sky. So how did a people with no flying machines manage to draw such perfect, massive shapes? How were the lines made? The answer lies in the desert itself. The Nazca discovered that if they scraped away the top layer of dark stones, they would reveal a lighter colored layer of sand underneath. By doing this just a few inches deep, they created strong contrasts that could be seen from far away. To make these giant figures, they likely used simple tools: wooden stakes, many of which have been found in the ground, used to mark the edges of lines; ropes, used to connect stakes and draw straight lines; grids and scaled drawings to transfer small designs into massive ones on the desert floor. In modern experiments, researchers have recreated Nazca-style geoglyphs using only these tools, and they worked. So, while the methods are simple, the real mystery is who first discovered them? Though locals had always known about the lines, they weren't widely known until the 20th century. In 1927, a Peruvian archaeologist named Toribio Mejia Cespe noticed some strange lines while walking on nearby hills. But it wasn't until 1939, when American historian Paul Kosok flew over the desert, that the full extent of the geoglyphs was seen. Kosok called it the largest astronomy book in the world. His student and collaborator, Maria Reika, would spend the next 40 years living in the desert, mapping and protecting the lines. She believed the geoglyphs were linked to astronomy and the calendar, used to mark solstices, equinoxes, and the movement of stars. Chapter 5. Theories. What were they for? Over the years, researchers have proposed many theories to explain the purpose of the Nazca Lines. 1. Astronomical calendar. Maria Reika's favorite theory. Some lines point directly to the sun during the winter or summer solstice. Others may point to the rising or setting of specific stars. Could the Nazca have used the desert as a giant sky chart to track planting seasons or honor celestial beings? Critics argue that while a few lines match celestial events, most do not. So this theory explains part of the mystery, but not all. 2. Ritual pathways. Other archaeologists believe the lines were ritual walkways. Some lines lead to ceremonial centers like Cahuachi, a sacred Nazca city. People may have walked these paths as part of religious ceremonies. The figures could have been offerings to the gods or symbols used in rituals for rain and fertility. In a desert where water was rare and precious, worshiping water and nature was essential to survival. 3. Water maps and underground rivers. A newer theory suggests that the lines may map underground water sources. Using satellite imagery, researchers have found that some lines point to ancient aquifers and subterranean canals. The geoglyphs may have been part of rituals to honor water spirits or to mark sources of water hidden beneath the surface. In a land where rain might not fall for years, water was more sacred than gold. 4. Shamanic visions. Some believe the Nazca Lines were inspired by hallucinogenic visions. Nazca priests may have used San Pedro cactus, a powerful plant that induces altered states of consciousness. Under its influence, they may have seen powerful animals and symbols and recreated those visions on the ground as part of spiritual journeys. The spirals, for example, may represent trance states or the journey of the soul. Of 5, aliens of no ancient mystery escapes the alien theory. In the 1960s, Swiss writer Erich von Däniken suggested the Nazca Lines were made by extraterrestrials, either as landing strips or messages to visitors from space. But archaeologists have shown that the lines were made by humans, using simple tools and human logic. The alien theory, while fun, isn't supported by any evidence. Threats and preservation today, the Nazca Lines are a UNESCO World Heritage Site protected by international law, but they face many threats. Illegal mining, vandalism, off-road vehicles, urban development. Even a protest by Greenpeace in 2014 damaged part of the hummingbird geoglyph. Thankfully, researchers now use satellites, drones, and AI to discover new lines and monitor their condition. In 2019, over 140 new geoglyphs were found using AI-based image analysis. Even today, the desert is still revealing secrets. So what are the Nazca Lines? Are they messages to the sky? Maps to water? Sacred walkways? Or maybe something we've yet to fully understand? The truth is, these lines are more than drawings. They are stories etched in silence, whispers from a civilization that lived, worshipped, and dreamed in the sands of time. And the more we learn, the deeper the mystery becomes. Kawachi, the city of the sky and sand. If the Nazca Lines were prayers written in the desert, then Kawachi was the temple from which those prayers rose into the sky. Kawachi was the ceremonial center of the Nazca world. Unlike a typical city, it wasn't filled with homes and markets. It was more like a holy sanctuary, used for rituals, feasts, and burials. Located just a few miles from the heart of the Nazca Lines, Kawachi was built atop a natural hill shaped by hand into terraces and plazas. It had pyramids, ceremonial platforms, and ritual rooms, and it may have been in use from 100 BCE to 550 CE. The largest pyramid rises over 30 feet high, made of adobe bricks. But despite its grandeur, it seems the people never truly lived there. They came here only to worship, to offer sacrifices, and perhaps to send messages into the sky. Rituals in the sand. So what kind of rituals were performed here? Archaeologists have uncovered clues. Ceremonial pottery buried in the sand. Trophy heads, once thought to be war souvenirs, now believed to be used in spiritual rites. Burial sites with carefully wrapped mummies and offerings of food, tools, and textiles. Some believe that pilgrimages were made from villages to Kawachi, long processions that may have traveled along the geoglyph lines themselves, walking the shapes of animals and spirals as acts of devotion. When they reached the sacred city, they may have offered textiles, poured chicha, a sacred corn drink, or even performed ritual dances. The figures they drew in the desert could have served as giant spirit guides, calling upon gods of the earth, sky, water, and wind. And always, behind it all, the silent prayer, bring the rain, the power of the hummingbird. Let's stop and take one figure, the hummingbird. This drawing stretches nearly 200 feet across the desert. Its lines are razor straight, its beak points precisely in one direction, and its wings are open like it's ready to lift off into the wind. In Andean mythology, the hummingbird is a messenger, a creature of joy, speed, and spirit. It flits between worlds, just as the Nazca people tried to reach between the physical and spiritual. Some researchers believe the hummingbird was a symbol of resilience. It survives in tough environments, just like the Nazca people. Others think it was linked to fertility and life-giving rain, because hummingbirds often appear during the rainy season in the Andes. So when you look at that shape, drawn with no machines, no aerial view, and no written instructions, you're not just seeing an animal, you're seeing a symbol of hope, etched into the land. The disappearance of the Nazca Figueros. By around 600 CE, the Nazca civilization began to fade. Their culture, once vibrant, slowly disappeared. What happened? There are many theories. Environmental collapse. A massive El Nino weather event may have caused floods and destroyed their irrigation systems. Deforestation. Evidence shows the Nazca cut down native huarango trees, which may have led to soil erosion and failed crops. Invasion or assimilation. Nearby cultures like the Wari may have absorbed the Nazca over time. Whatever the cause, their ceremonial city of Kawachi was abandoned. The pyramids were covered in sand, the rituals ended, and the people vanished. But the lines stayed, unmoving, unblinking, waiting in the silence, rediscovering the lines today. In the past 100 years, our tools have advanced, and so has our understanding of the Nazca Lines. With the help of drones, satellites, artificial intelligence, we've discovered dozens of new geoglyphs, some much smaller than the famous ones, possibly used for more local ceremonies. In 2019, over 140 new figures were revealed thanks to machine learning. These include warriors, birds, and cats, drawn with different styles, showing that different groups or generations may have added to this desert canvas over time. Still, we have not found a single written record from the Nazca themselves. No books, no scrolls, no carvings that explain the lines. All we have are the lines themselves. Why the Nazca Lines still matter. So why do these lines, drawn over 1,500 years ago, still capture our imagination? Because they remind us of something deep inside ourselves. They remind us that human beings have always looked to the skies, searching for meaning. That we've always wanted to leave a mark, to say, we were here, even if we're long gone. That even in the harshest places, humans can create beauty, symbols, stories, and mystery. The Nazca Lines are not just Peru's story. They are part of our story, a reminder that belief, imagination, wonder have shaped human history as much as stone and fire. And maybe that's the real meaning of the lines, a message in the sand. So now, as you imagine flying once more over the Nazca Desert, what do you see? Not just shapes, not just lines, but a message, a whisper from a vanished people. Maybe they're telling us, look closely, listen deeply, and never stop wondering. If this journey into the ancient Nazca Desert moved you, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more untold histories, strange facts, and forgotten mysteries from every corner of the world. Hit the like button, share with a curious friend, and drop a comment below. What do you think the Nazca Lines were for? Let's talk about it.